Hey guys, it's Blake. Welcome back. Today we are going to be going into kind of like what's really been going on about like talking about how my system, like how I'm really getting into my system for this year and how it's kind of molding or like taking its own shape to actually fit the year as opposed to like what I planned on doing. Because at the start of the year, when the year started, I kind of felt like everything that I had wanted to do and like set up wasn't gonna work anymore. I'm like, oh no, I think I just like kind of made mistakes and everything. And then I was finding that I didn't really want to be in anything but my rings. And so I told y'all about how let me lift the camera up just a little bit. Desk is a mess, but yeah, so in my like January update, I told y'all like this is basically all that I had been in, and I was kind of working in this as like a planner and journal. But even though I was doing that, I was still kind of teetering and trying to figure out my actual journaling system or setup and like what I was going to do that at, because I hadn't been doing like my memory keeping with adding my pictures and stuff, and I'm actually super behind on that. So let me show y'all one thing that I've been working on. So for the end of last year, I was in personal rings. So all of last year I was in a bullet journal. I was in like a one setup system, and then I went from the Stalogy notebooks to rings, and I was doing everything in rings because that's just what I wanted to be in. And so I was pretty much in rings all the way. I was fully in rings in November and December, and then September I was kind of trying to use a ring system. My planner, I was trying to use a planner and a journal, and then October I wasn't really using anything because I was sick. That's like so unforgettable. I was just so sick in October. So I actually had to like catch up in October, and I did a lot of back planning, and that's when I realized I wanted to stop using this. Yeah, so I think I showed y'all like I was in my personal rings in November, and I was working in my art journal a lot, and then in December I was in my personal rings, and then I was trying to set up new stuff. So that's kind of what I was focused on. But after the fact, like when it came in December, when I was trying to wrap up everything, I realized I hadn't printed any pictures for October and November, and I still needed to do it for December. And then I was getting to the point, and then I started thinking like, well, where am I gonna put these pictures? Because these pages in here, like where I was doing my daily log, it just didn't feel right. Like the memory keeping style just didn't feel 100% right in rings. For planning, it's perfect. Reference, keeping like all my information, it's perfect. And that's why I ended up getting this. And so I set this up as another bullet journal that I would use, that I added last minute. But then once I actually got to using the paper, I chose something different, and I got this dot grid Stalogy, and I'm like, I like dot grid, so let's try that. But when I actually started using this, I'm like, I can't see the dots, so it feels like blank paper. And when I'm working on blank paper, that feels like a sketchbook. So I said, this is going to be my art journal, because it feels like blank paper. It feels like I should be drawing in here. And so I turned this into my art journal. And then what I set up as my art journal, which was the A6 hobonichi, I put to the side. I wasn't using it. And I was like, maybe I'll use it later. And then that still left me with no journal. So to start the year off, I still had no journal really. And once January passed, I'm like, okay, so I'm still behind on printing out my pictures. Where are those pictures gonna go? I need to figure out this journal setup thing. So I went back and I got my last journal off of the shelf, which was the Sterling Ink in1 Common Planner. And I was just kind of like flipping through the pages. I've showed this in a video, a few, and I flipped through this whole thing during Vlogmas if you want to see that. But I was like, you know what? After I was like thinking, I actually might just put my pictures and finish off my memory keeping in here, because this I used from July, August, and September, and then in October I stopped using it. I did the monthly for October, but there the weeks I was back and forth, and then there were no daily pages for October, no journaling. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do all of my end of the year memory keeping in here. So I had ripped out some pages. I had said goodbye, and so I had to fix that. I went in and like taped up some of the pages so that the book wouldn't fall apart. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna put all these pictures I printed out, October, November, and December pictures. Y'all can see this one. And so I'll be putting them in there, and then I'll be transferring all the December journaling that I did, which wasn't much. It was really just that setup that I did. And I'll do that in here. And I'm just going to do like very simple October recap and then paste the pictures down, nothing crazy. But I was really glad that I figured that out, and I have some of the ephemera that I can add. So I'm going to archive the rest of 2025 in here. So I'll have 6 months in here and 6 months in the other two Stylogies. So that's nice that I figured that out. That was like, okay, perfect. Then I was like, okay, well, this is an academic planner. I could come back to this. I have, there's November, there's December, and then it goes all the way until June. So I'm like, do I want to use this again? And I was like, once I finish putting in my pictures and stuff, that might tell me that I'll probably feel like if I want to use this. But the only thing about it is, for this year's journal, I know I want to take it everywhere with me. And then I still do kind of take this with me some places sometimes. But I am, in my head, I'm supposed to leave this at home. And when I had it all in my setup, in my cover and stuff, it's heavy. Oops, sorry. It's heavy. And I don't know, it just felt a little big for every day. And since I split up my like planner and journal, because when I was using this, I was using it as a planner and a journal, mostly planning in my monthlies and weeklies, and then doing the journaling in the back. So I was like, I won't really need all of this space if I'm only doing journaling. So I was like, I probably won't want to be in this, and it's a little bit big, and I'm trying to I was trying to kind of morph my like pocket notebook idea with my journal. I think what I realized was this year wasn't going to be the exact same as last year in terms of what I used. I need something a little bit, I don't know, I think I just wasn't feeling it. So anyway, but I did figure out that I was going to do my archiving in here, so I'm excited about that. So I have the pictures printed out, and then I'll use this for a little bit of reference for information. And it shouldn't take but like one night to work on this, because I'm not going too crazy. I'm just putting the pictures in there really. And then I'll have that done. So I'm excited about that. That'll be a little project to do one of these nights coming up. Turn the heater off. So that left me with trying to figure out, where is this journaling gonna go? Like, where is my daily log, my daily pages, the pictures, the ephemera? Where is that going? Because it's not in my rings. It's not. My rings, personal rings, is just purely keeping my life together, and planning, like project management, reference information, logging stuff, but it's just purely information. And I like it that way. And when I try to do other stuff, I don't like it. I just don't. So this was set. This was like, this is what you do in here. So journaling is not in here. And then I was thinking, well, you have the V6 Stylogy that you set up. Really nice. Like, you love it. And so I tried doing my journaling in here, and something about it was like, no. And I think that it was just because when I came here in my V6 Stylogy, I just wanted to do like scribble notes, and I know that for a fact I needed a place to do something like that where I could just come and write down notes. So similar how the pocket notebook is, this is basically the same thing. So I decided to ditch my pocket notebook and just have this, because the pocket notebook, it didn't have like a stable purpose. When I used it, if I was using it, it would mean that I would need to transfer the information, and if I need to transfer the information, I just don't want to do it. So I'd rather just write it where it goes, and if I forget, I forget. It's fine. Or I'll write it down somewhere like on a Post-it note or on my phone and then transfer it that way. But writing something twice isn't fun to me. So I was like, although this could be my journal, I've set it up as a notebook. I like it as a notebook, and I need a notebook in my system. So this is my notebook, and I was like, this is not the journal. No. So that didn't work out. And then I was like, well, you have your art journal, and you could start doing your journaling in here. I was trying it out, and I'm like, you could, except I cannot see the dots and it feels like blank paper, so I'm writing crooked. I tried in some other pages. Let's see. It's just the paper that I picked. If I picked the regular grid 365, I probably would be using this right now, but it's an art journal, and that's okay. I like it that way too. I think this is going to be a really cool art journal. And I also have many other like art journals and sketchbooks, so this is just another one. And also the A5 size, although I did like it for journaling last year, it is a little big for me this year, especially since I have like the planning side of my journal system in my personal rings. So the other thing doesn't need to be so big, because again, I'll only be doing half of my like daily journaling practice in here. So I don't need it to be as big. So my A5s and things like that are on the art journal sketchbook side. So I'm like, so that's not gonna work. So once I figured that out, I'm like, I have my planner is set, my notebook is set, my art journal is set. I'm not doing the pocket notebook anymore, or for now. I'm sure it'll come back up because I do like those from time to time. So your system is set. It's just the journal, like your journal. The journal is suffering. There's something going on there. And so I'm like, what can I do? And I really didn't want to buy anything new, because I just felt like I did a lot of buying last year just for it to kind of be like rocky, and I didn't want to be wasteful. And then I also felt like I had things here that I could make work, possibly if I just think enough. So I'm like, we're not gonna buy anything. I was at the store yesterday, and I was like, maybe do I want a Moleskine? Like I could, like a Moleskine notebook with a line notebook work. But I was like, you don't. And then I have this cousin, and I'm like, I was tearing out the pages, but I'm not doing that anymore. I could cut this down. Maybe I could use it as A5 if I really wanted to, or I could cut it down to the TN size or something like that. But I was like, I don't know. So then I pulled this out, and this was what was my art journal. And I've already covered up or done some modifications, but if y'all can see, these pages are written on, and I just have covered them up with extra paper. And so I had been kind of playing around with writing in here. The only thing that really was kind of bothersome is the dates. For bullet journaling, they kind of get in the way to me for some reason, because, well, not for some reason, they get in the way because for my bullet journal style, I'm not doing a day per page. I'm gonna need more than a day per page, especially in A6. So I was like, it's not gonna work unless I can figure out a way to kind of cover up these dates. So that's what you see here. I have the washi tape at the top, and I put it at the bottom because I don't even know what this says. And then it is kind of visually noisy to me, so when I cover it up, it's like, oh, that's better. So I think, so I tried that, and then on this page, I've already covered it up though, but I tested out like my bullet journal typical system where I'm writing, and then I was like, I think I like this, and I put the washi tape on. I've tried this one where I did just like a journaling prompt, and then added the stickers. I like that, and I didn't even cover up the date, so that worked. And then I've stuck down some stickers in some other places, and I was like, I think I could definitely ignore like what I've done in here so far as when I was using it as like an art journal, and those will just be the front pages. And I also don't mind doing whatever in my journal, so it's fine that it's there. And then I was like, I have these monthlies. I could figure out something to do with the monthlies. I have kind of drawn over some of them, but once I figure out what to do with those, I could probably modify the pages to make that work. But until then, I'm just gonna clip these out of the way. So if you can't tell, I decided that I think I'm gonna make this A6 work, and I think the size is gonna work for me. It's probably gonna take a small adjustment because it does feel small, but like when I'm using it. But I like that it feels small when I have it in my hand and I'm trying to like take it with me wherever I'm going. And also, even though I like the idea of taking things with me, I don't necessarily always do writing when I'm not at home. It's usually at home, but I do like to tote things around the house, so from room to room to room. And then yeah, so I like how small it feels in terms of carrying it, and then I think I can get over how small it feels when I'm using it. And of course I used my last art journal was an A6 size, and I really did like that size. And so I thought, since I'm only doing journaling in here, you won't need as much space anyway. And then I do like the idea of sticking some stuff down. So I was using this in December of last year. So I do have a few drawings in it. But I think I'll just cover these up with the same way that I did here. So I can show y'all how I covered those up. I had these cutout papers from the Hobonichi cousin that I was just talking about. And so I had already cut them up for like personal size. And so I just cut them and then pasted them down and covered up what I had already kind of written. I really hadn't used this much. I really only used it for a couple of days. So they were just kind of test pages of me trying to see if I could use it in a different way. So I used my glue stick, this one, and just glued down these sheets of paper on I covered up this where I wrote like my intentions. As soon as I wrote it, I was like, I feel like I'm forcing this, so I didn't like this page anyway, so I covered that up. And then this is the January like cover page, and then the day 1, I kept this covered up 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7. Didn't have to cover up anything on here, or I used washi tape to cover up where I wrote right there. Covered up a little bit just with a half sheet here. And then I'll keep this page. I just whited out something that I wrote there, and then covered up this, and then that's it. And so then when the time comes, I can cover up these or not. I don't know. It's at the end of the book, so we'll see. It might not even matter. But other than those first pages in January, this entire book is empty and really could be put to good use. So that's my thinking. So yeah, I only need this to do my daily logging, and adding my pictures and my washi tape and stickers. So as you can see, I think decoration wise, that's gonna be cute. The writing wise, it's gonna be smaller, but I don't know, maybe I'll just work through it faster. Maybe it'll even out because I don't necessarily make myself, well, starting this year, I'm like, I just am not getting to my journaling every day, and so that's just gonna have to be okay. So it might work out fine. We're gonna try it at least for like a month, and then if I want to use something else, I think that's fine. But I think this is going to be my official journal that I'm starting the year off with, and then if I move, then I'll move to the next thing. But I really haven't even felt like I have started my journal for 2026. I haven't. I really don't have anything. I have some daily pages here that were from my planner, and I'm gonna transfer this information into here and kind of break it in a little bit, and then add in my pictures. I printed January's pictures. Hold on, let me see. Y'all can't see any of these. Let's see, I printed January's pictures. Here, it's not even that many pictures in January to put down. So yeah, that is the long story. Very long. It took me 20 minutes to explain all of that. But that's what I wanted to tell y'all. That was kind of like the whole process that I've been going through since the start of the year. And it's settled down in an interesting way because, let's see. Sometimes I think like maybe I shouldn't be like talking through all of this, but that's exactly why I have this channel and these like journal chats, because this is exactly what I want to talk about. So I think I showed y'all that. Yeah, can y'all see all of that? this was my lineup to start with. I decided to put this down for now, so I just put this back in my cabinet. This is my planner, Personal Rings. This is what I was going to be my journal, but now it's my art journal. This is what was going to be my art journal, but now it's my journal. And this is my notebook, the B6thology. So it actually kind of worked out, I think. We'll see how the journaling goes, but as far as these three, I think for I wanted to use 5 things and 3 of them be correct in a way, just switched. It's not bad. I'm not mad at it. So now I have some time to myself and I'm going to break this in. And I'm also very happy that I get to use this because I did get this pink cover that I really like so much. And it did hurt a little bit to just put this in the cabinet. I'm like, no, I don't get to use my pink cover. But yeah, these 2 things right here are kind of like my daily journaling system. This notebook really will just sit in my bag, and when I need to do things, like when I need to do some brainstorming and things like that, that's where I pull this out, but it's not like a daily thing. And then my art journal is sitting with all of the rest of my sketchbooks, and when I sit down to work in here in my studio, I'll pick that up, and then also that will be the one that I take with me wherever I go and bring stuff with me. So yeah, that's that. So now if y'all want to hang out, I'm going to washi tape these pages and add some stickers for January. And one thing that's good also is that the washi tape, I'm doing the top and the bottom, so even if I don't do it ahead of time, I can still start and then do it later because I'm only using this section right here. So it works out because I would naturally add washi tape to the top and bottom of pages anyway. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this page here, turning the page to a new year. I probably will do, well, there's a lot of things I could do actually. We'll figure that out when the time comes, and then the rest of these pages as well. And then this kind of yearly overview or quarterly kind of thing, we'll see. I don't know. It's just a few pages, so they might just stay blank. I thought about using this as like for gratitude or 1 line a day or something like that, because I won't be doing like that much monthly setups. Or I could just start it on this page with January. Oh, one other thing. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do monthly like spreads that I have to set up every month. I think I'm just going to go straight in with the daily logs every month. But we'll see. Another thing, I am using these monthly tabs and these stickers from Virgo paper and then Planner Monkey Co. in my notebook to section off the month. But I was also using the calendar things in here, and because I didn't have a journal, I used the other ones. I was using one in my notebook and one in my journal, but now I think these fit. Let me see. So I might use this. Oh, actually, let me take January's. I have repositioned these things so many times now, they're barely sticky. But one thing about my notebook, I don't really care how it looks. I don't care that it gets messy or anything, so. Oh yeah, they do fit. So I think I'm just gonna use these calendars here. So to start off the month, so I'm just gonna start it here. And then since I'm doing the daily log thing, I don't know how many pages I'll use. But I don't know, we'll have to see how much I'll average using a month to know if it'll kind of like stay within the month that it's already set, Or will I use more or less? I don't know. It'd be cool if one full year would fit in here, but I don't even know if I would actually want to use it for one full year. Y'all see that? Okay. I might actually have to put some glue on this. Because it's not sticky anymore. I've picked it up a few times at this point. I don't know what this is. It's not hair. I think it's like something from a jacket. That works. Okay, and then I'll come back and get February when I'm ready for that. So I'll use these vertical ones in my journal, and then these horizontal ones in my notebook. So that works out. And then I think I have some extra tabs somewhere. Somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Oh, I also forgot to mention this. So I've started using this 5-year journal, 5-year diary that I got for Christmas, and I have it sitting on my nightstand, just with a pen, and I'm just writing in it. Not even daily. I'm gonna let this habit build naturally. It's off to, you know, like sometimes I forget that it's even there. I just have to get used to it. But also, since I do lots of daily journaling, I am able to pull from somewhere and remember something to write down. But this one I'm using as like a favorite thing about the day kind of journal, dedicated to my daughter Cleo. So all of this has to do, like, I'll be writing to her when I write in here. And then we also have another notebook where we write to her, me and my husband, and those are both sitting on my nightstand. But I decided to put it in this A16 cover that I wasn't using, and so I can put the pen there and just kind of decorate it. So this will be within like my lineup, but it sits on my nightstand, so it's not something that I have to necessarily think about every day because of where it is. Since it's like right where I wake up, I'm like, oh, let me write in that. And hopefully, I'm thinking like this, I'll use this, or I'll write in this every night. So that time of the day where it's like, okay, I'm going to bed, let me put on my pajamas, take my jewelry off, tie my hair up, and then like I go sit down on my bed, write in this, and then lay down. That is the hope. And hopefully I can get into that routine, because I don't even think I've written in here in February yet. So yeah. But that's for 5 years, just like a little blurb every day to her. And then, yeah, so that's also part of it. I was hesitant on whether I was going to use it this year or not, just because I wanted to see where it was going to fit, if it would fit, if I wanted to save it. And then for some reason, I was thinking a lot about like the years where I'm starting it and where it would end. But after a while, I'm like, I don't think that really matters. Start it whenever. It doesn't have to be in this like 5-year increments. It could just be whenever. So that's down. Hopefully it sticks down good enough. So I'll start January here, and I just want to add some washi to these pages. Leave that there. I think it could be cool to do some kind of drawings and stuff in here. So I'm gonna leave that to remind me, like, hey, you could do other stuff in here. You don't just have to write. So yeah. I'll do the same on the top and the bottom. So yeah, y'all definitely can tell me how your planner and journals and notebooks and whatever you use is going this year. Was it smooth sailing? Has it taken time to get used to it? I know if you're trying to build like a new habit, like I think, yeah, I was trying to build a new habit with splitting up my planning and journaling and things like that, and having more than one book in rotation. So it's kind of makes sense that it wasn't just like an immediate like flow. So yeah, was it immediate or did it take some time to get used to it? I'm just now February, still trying to get it together, but I think purchasing something new off the table has helped, because if you have like endless options, you're always going to find something wrong and be like, I'm just going to buy something else. So I want to use that one. Use this one. I am curious. I probably should not do like too many pages because I don't know how many I'm gonna use. But yeah, so I'll just do a few and then I'll get to writing with my blue for a little wintry feel. January was definitely winter. We got snow where I am in Texas. A lot of people did across the world a few weeks back, so and then I do have a sticker book that is A6 size, so I'm gonna keep that tucked in the back. Some stickers like that. This one, I already had this washi tape down when I was just kind of playing around, so that's why I have that color. I do like a little theme, but I do also like to use whatever I want. So, but for the most part, I like a theme. So I am gonna use kind of these colors. We'll do I'm gonna put some washi over this whiteout because I'm gonna use my fountain pens in here, and I don't think it's gonna write over that very well. I already had this purple down. See, I would love to go ahead and catch up so I can be in here for February. I'm filming this on the 11th. So I'm not too far behind in February. So I'm gonna stop there for so far, and we'll see what. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the pages, and then this will start my normal pages. All of these were modified. Okay. So I'm gonna watch something and fill these in. Hopefully it goes by pretty fast.
Sometimes I worry that maybe I'm not as good at this as you are. Yes. I told you that before. Like even like with gifts, like he's such a good giver, a good gift giver. I'm not a good gift giver.